Well, finally found time to get the garage all cleaned out. Finally got room to pull the truck in and have more than enough room to finally do some work, shoot some videos. This is something that I kind of want to do all winter, just never found the time. And now that I can move the car out, like I like to keep the car in the garage all winter. And now the weather's getting nice. Everything's starting to melt. It doesn't look like there's any more. I know in my last video I said that spring's on the way, and then we got hammered with snow along with the rest of the world apparently. And there's no more snow in the forecast, so everything should be melting soon. So we'll keep the car outside, I think, for now in the time being, and then we'll have more room now to shoot some videos of the truck and sort of what I've been working on. And today we will be doing some ambient lighting install on the F150, and as well as I'm not going to install these quite yet. I actually have these. I'm going to put these right under here. This is where the old one was, but it was black, as you saw on the bench. Probably I'll show you guys in a sec when I go back there. This is starting to fade pretty bad. It's turning to a light red versus what it used to be, like this kind of nice red here. So I think before I put this on, I'm going to tape all this off and then just probably do a nice plasti dip on that. And then the same with the other side once I get this badge off. So that's what I had on there before, but these are cheap plastic ones. This is a nice metal one, and it just sort of stands out a little bit better. And then with the black, with this being all black, I don't know if I'm going to do a gloss black or a matte black. Let me know in the comments what you guys think I should go with on this guy here. But this is metal, so I think this will hold up nicely. And I have ordered bulk of these online. Unfortunately, I only was able to get 3 of these colors, so I have another one, a spare one. But I got a bunch of solid black like these. This is plastic, and then this is a metal. So they look like this, obviously. You know what? I should run down and go get some. I'll be right back. Okay, so I went and grabbed the other ones. So these are the other ones. That will be for sale on the website. There is limited quantities, obviously, so get them while you can. But this is a black with kind of chrome. For those of you that have like kind of the chrome look with the 5-liter, just to give you an idea what that looks like. And then we have this one with some red in it. Kind of almost has like that kind of Corvette sort of look to their badge there on the. And then we have a all black one here. Just like that. So if I was to put this black one on, then I would probably do this a gloss black. And it would kind of match. This is more like a satin black, I guess. So then it would kind of look a little bit better, as this kind of flat black just looks a little bit too off. But yeah, so. And you can see their metal on the back here. So they include this double-sided adhesive tape, and then you obviously are going to peel one end, put it on, and then peel the other end and stick it on as well. So the main part of the video that I wanted to shoot today was some ambient lighting. For those of you that I've had a lot of people ask sort of how I did the ambient lighting and what I tied into to make it all work. So we'll go around to the driver's side here. Oh, where are my keys? That's up there. Where are my keys? What the heck? Okay, we got the keys. They were inside. And you guys wondering, these jet tags are also on our website. They are, sorry about that. They are $10, and that includes shipping for any of you that are interested. So when we turn the accessory on, without turning the ignition on, the lights come on. The ambient lighting comes on, right? Now these are just, oh, I hate that beeping. So these are just a simple LED strip light. I got them mounted nice. There's a nice flat part underneath here, and you can't really see them unless you go right under. So it's a perfect spot for them. And we have them on the rear seats, on the seats as well, and we have them nicely strapped up there. Now some of these LEDs are burnt out. That's why we are kind of doing this video, because I'm looking to replace them. And don't worry, they're not flickering. Actually, LEDs just don't like cameras for some reason. And then we got some there. And then we have them underneath the... Oh. Turn all the stuff off. And then we have them underneath here. So this, I actually took some electrical tape and I taped off 2 of these diodes because they were in fact flickering. So I just taped them off to prevent the flickering. That's why I kind of want to replace all this to get some new LEDs in there. Now you can buy these off of Amazon. Like, this is just a generic, there's nothing special about this. Just make sure they have the adhesive backing. And we're gonna hop right into the back here. And let me just grab a socket, because I know we're gonna need a number 7. So grab this. Come on. And then we're gonna grab a number 7. And we're gonna hop right in the back here. Okay. So there's a few things you guys can do. If you want, you can have your ambient lighting on a toggle switch, so you can choose when to turn it on and off. You can find basically an auxiliary power that whenever you open your doors, so you'd want to find like something in your door to tap off onto for power wise. And these will generally need between 6 to 12 volts. This one doesn't say on it what's required. So 2 amps max, which is nothing. So yeah, right there, sorry, 5 to 12 volts right there. So that's what you want your power source to be, anywhere between that. If you have too much voltage, it's gonna work, but you'll burn out, like those dials will burn out very, very fast. If you're doing like, anything over 12 volts basically, which you obviously is not gonna happen because you have a 12 volt battery, but just for other uses, you can't. You want to stay within that range. Anything less than 5 volts, then they won't turn on. They'll be very, very, very dim. So, and I'm sure you can find some power sources that use less than 5 volts in your vehicle. I don't know any offhand, but I'm sure there are. So anyways, if you want, you can hook it up so that when you open your doors, the lights come on, the ambient lighting comes on. But that's a whole different, like, you have to start, I mean, obviously we can tell right away that, it's probably gonna be a door switch somewhere in your doors that does that. But just to keep it simple, you guys, you want your power source somewhere in the middle, so you can run your wire, because your wires are length. Like 2 of them will be longer and 2 of them will be shorter for that reason. So you want your power unit to be somewhere central, and then you can reach all your spots without having to extend any of your wires or any of that BS. So we know that we have a cigarette lighter right here, and we know that the cigarette lighters are typically 12 volts. I'm going to say almost always 12 volts, and they can handle between 5 to 10 amps, a cigarette lighter. So they'll more than handle this this load as well as any other load you decide to put on here. So this is what this comes with, but we're not going to use this because no one wants to have ambient lighting in their truck with that, like that. Oh, look at, they all came on. With this little push button. Like that's lazy, it looks bad. I'm sure there's some people that do it, but that's just not my style. I want everything to look sort of OEM, look factory, and like that's the look I went for here, right? Just a good look. This has the infrared blaster on it, right here. So this little infrared antenna on here, and then it'll come with a remote so you can change the colors. I prefer this over the Bluetooth, because I have, like, for example, my rock lights are Bluetooth, and I have sometimes issues because they use like cheap Chinese apps, the Bluetooth, especially if you buy an Amazon kit with the Bluetooth function. It's like these really shitty Bluetooth apps, and sometimes they need like updating, or the app becomes obsolete, and you can use third-party apps as well. to make it all work, but there's just more monkeying around with the Bluetooth. Now, if you have a whole ton of ambient lighting on your truck and you want to have everything under one app, then, you know, and it works for you, then that's fine. But just for something simple, to have a remote always in your center console, you're likely going to keep it on, like I always keep on the blue, so I don't even need to change it. But if I ever wanted to change it, I have the remote in my center console, I point to the infrared blaster, like it's more foolproof that nothing is ever going to go wrong. So we're going to start here, and we can go ahead and we can just lift this up like that. And then you can see, here we go right here. This is my old infrared blaster. And it almost looks identical to what we're installing actually. So like I said, like look at it, it's the exact same thing. And this is probably a 3-year-old kit. So these are all the same, no matter where you buy them from. They're just packaged differently. So, I mean, you're fine with cheaping out. You can probably get these for 20 bucks. You get these for 20 to 30 bucks on Amazon. You go to any like sort of like Kmart or Walgreens or Walmart or any of those kind of stores, any outlet store or any car part or auto parts store, these are going to be like 60 bucks, 50 bucks. So save yourself the money, get them off Amazon, because it's going to be the same thing, just packaged differently with a different company name on them. So if I unplug this, everything turns off. And we are tapping, like I said, so what we're going to do is we're going to splice into these 2 wires here for a cigarette lighter. So everything is hidden, we have the power, and you can still use this auxiliary, the cigarette lighter if you want to. So that's going to be our first thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start tearing out all of the old stuff. It's not too bad. Everything basically pulls apart. So if I pull this panel off right here, that's where our wire runs. So we're just going to take this right off. And then it runs all the way back here. And then it runs, I don't know if you can even see that. And then it runs into that little slot there. And then underneath, and everything meets back over here, like I said. So the same thing for this guy. And the same thing for the driver's side. I'm just going to rip this off here. Looks like there's a screw over there, so I don't know if we're going to worry too much about that. I'm just going to go ahead and we're going to peel. See, that's on there pretty good. Like, you never have to worry about this falling off on you. It's stuck pretty good on there. So on the back is just right here, so we're going to take, there it is right there, and then the wire just goes from here and it shoots underneath, and then everything kind of just gets bunched up right way in the bottom there. So I'm going to rip it all out, and then we'll start installing everything else. We'll have 2 7mm bolts right on these tabs here. Get those bolts out of here, and then just pull this off. Make sure that you guys disconnect any wires, your USBs, your 12-volt cigarette lighter, and your 120-volt plug. So just make sure you disconnect everything, and then you can pull this guy right out of the way. And then everything, like I said, here's our power pack, and then here's all of our wires going every which way. So we'll get this all cleaned out, all ripped out, and we'll start putting in the new stuff. Okay, so we got everything ran, and here is our little power pack there. All of our wires are nicely just taped together at the bottom here. And then I'm going to try something different this time. I'm going to put that IR blaster, the little infrared receiver, right out here. Before I had it kind of just barely in the back here, and it seemed to pick it up, but we're just going to do it that right down here. That way we just point the controller down when we're in the driver's seat, and then it'll pick it up from there. So I got all the trim pieces put back on, and no wire sticking out all the way back. Everything's tight, and then you can see the wire jumping out there, and then the strip is just right underneath there. So pretty discreet. You can't see that, you know, you're not gonna see these LED diodes popping. It's gonna be an ambient. It's gonna look pretty nice, and there's a nice little lip there to put that on, and it sits very flat, and it's perfect. And this side is the same as the other side. You got the straps you can put on, and there's room to move this around. So like this side looks like it's almost going underneath the cover, so we'll do it like that. And then there you go. And you want to make sure that these straps aren't really covering a diode. You want to make sure like they're in between, like that. And then the wires for this guy, tuck this zipper up here. You can't really see them. Like everything is kind of crossing over eventually, other than the two front ones that kind of can ride along the panels. But these backseat ones will cut across there, but you won't ever be able to see that. Like no one will ever be able to see that. And if they do, they'll probably just think it's some sort of factory wire. Everything looks very discreet. Actually, I'll just go back on this side. Oh, the next step is doing our power up. And like I said, we're gonna use a cigarette lighter, but we don't need this end. So you guys can go ahead and you just take this end and you can just cut it off. Leave yourself a little bit of length, the longer the better. And then you're gonna want to give yourself a little bit more room here. You're gonna want to just try to score this outer shield here and peel it back a little bit like this. There. The red is gonna be your positive, the black is your negative. And you can just strip these ends off with a wire stripper or a knife or whatever you prefer to do. Wire stripper is obviously easier, and the 22 gauge seems to do well for the stripping setting on the stripper. So okay, we're gonna do some scab electrical until I get the proper connectors, but I still want you guys to have the right idea. So this isn't hot right now because we don't have the keys in the ignition, so you don't have to worry about shorting anything out. If you guys are uncomfortable with this, make sure you guys take out the battery. So what we're going to do is we're just going to score a little bit of this wire. We're going to pull it off so we expose a little bit of the copper. It is what it is, and we're just going to wrap this bare copper part. I know some of you guys are probably shaking your head right now, but so we're basically just tying in mid-wire like that. It's just not good to get in habits like these because then you cheat it once and you're going to cheat everywhere. Tighten the ground around here, or sorry, the positive around here too. And then we'll do the same thing. We'll just take some electrical tape, and that's just to tighten up our kind of connection. So what I basically did, zoomed in here, is I just scored a little bit of the brown and wrapped the red around it. And I scored a little bit of the black and wrapped the black around it. I will get the proper stuff to do it, like I said, a million times, but that'll do for now. And then we have it plugged in to our receiver right there. And then we'll get everything, well, I'll turn the power on first, and then we'll get everything buttoned back up. So, okay, so I have to go find the remote. Okay, so I got the remote. Pretty standard looking remote with your fade, your jump, your brightness and all that stuff, and your colors, the different colors you can pick. So there's 8 colors on this. And we're gonna go ahead, and we already got our ignition on, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna point at the IR blaster and turn it on. Boom. There you go. And then we'll flip through the colors. Red, green, blue, white, orange, I like the orange, yellow, like a cyan, like a lighter blue, and purple. So I'm gonna quickly just butt this back up, and then we'll see how everything looks. So you guys can see that there. So we'll plug our, I'm just gonna tape these 2 wires together for now, just to make sure everything's nice and tight. There's my USB. So here's that USB thing. I just took this right out. It was easier just to get the USBs out. So there's that. And now we'll line up all of our holes. There, push everything back in. So everything went back together nice and tight. Okay, so before I put the cup holder back on, you can access everything through the top here. Let me go back to my put my flash on, there you go. So you can access everything through the top here, so we can fix these wires at any time. And then you just simply put this back on, and this just pushes on like that, boom. Very easy, just like that. I don't know where my bottom cup holder thing went. And that is basically it. So let's just get all of the garbage out of here. So we got everything cleaned up, and the install was a success, guys. Very easy. It only took me an hour while filming to do all this. Don't be discouraged from doing simple stuff like this on your own. I hope this video really helps some of you that kind of want to do something like this. Like I said, just a cheap Amazon kit, nothing special. I know a lot of companies will try to sell you, you know, ambient lighting kits for $150, $200. Guys, you don't need that, man. Like, you don't. There's nothing different about what they're selling you versus what you're buying on Amazon, other than the fancy packaging that it comes in and maybe some better remote or something like that. But if you're on a budget, and it doesn't even have to be that as your reason, but these are just fine. So there's the passenger one. So if I sit in it, you know, I got the seat all the way back, and a person's not going to ever kick it. It's not in their way. This blue looks really nice, actually. My other blue and my other was almost like purpley. This is actually like a blue. So this stuff's really, really nice. And the stuff under the back, like I said, you got more than enough lighting. It's all secured right under there. This can even be pushed out a little bit more for some more lighting there. There we go. Just put this underneath the strap there. So then you got lots of lighting in the back. And so there's the white. That might appeal to more that want the ambient lighting but don't want sort of that rice, you know, kind of look. It looks a little bit purpley bluey in this picture, but it is a white. It's just the way the foam picks it up. So, and like I said, we already flipped through all the colors, and then you can do a jump like this controller. You can do different things if you're into that. You can do a fade, so it goes between all the different colors, and then you can adjust the brightness too. So if like this right away is too bright for you, you can really dim it down. Probably can't catch it very good on the camera, but yeah, so you do have some options. I don't know how I did that. I guess it's just telling me it's as bright as it can go. Okay. And yeah. When I turn off, take the key out, and they turn off as well. Turn that off. So thanks for being here, you guys. Please subscribe. If you enjoyed the video, please like it, leave a comment. If you have any questions, or if there's something that you see, if I'm ever doing something on the truck and you want to know how something's done that I didn't even talk about that you see, let me know in the comments and I can make a video on it, you guys. That's kind of what I want to do, is do things to help you guys out and make it easier. Just simple DIY videos. And yeah, thanks for being here, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one.